kind of want to make a quick video while it's still in my head about property rights. I had a couple of conversations with some cops today about property rights and how, that's basically, something that's part of society that you kind of have to accept property rights, even though we haven't had property in the legal sense for the majority of the time we've been on this planet. But, just the massive amount of displacement, not only in my personal opinion, but just in general. I've always been talking about zoning laws and how hard it is for people to build housing wherever they want, wherever it's needed, I should say. You know what I'm saying? How there's just so many laws put in order, in place, just in order to keep people, kind of in a one area, You don't want people having too much freedoms, or too many freedoms, and how that's kind of leading to a whole lot of the chaos that we're seeing so much right now. I guess the companion piece of this one is like there's no such thing as a housing crisis, because there isn't, right? There's here in Cleveland, I just talked to a cop, and I agree with him. He said there's like hundreds of vacant houses and schools and buildings here in Cleveland, and they're just sitting there, right? But you can't do anything about them because most of them are privately owned, so they just got to sit there and collect dust. As shelter is a human need. It is a need for most animals, but we're definitely not exempt from that. We don't need it 100%, but especially the sleep or whatever, is a reason why we've always kind of tried to, all throughout our time on this planet, try to find shelter, right? Is how important it is. So I appreciate people, want to put up this fight for property rights, because that's just going to just make my case against them even stronger. I just don't really give two shits about property rights. I care about people just not having to needlessly suffer. It's not even a thing to me. I know I can find shelter very easily, but other people, they can't. People know that. That's why they do the things that they do, and that's why they carry themselves that way, and they put on this huge facade about these rights that don't actually exist. The properties exist, these places exist, but there's just hundreds of vacant places in here, and it's like I'm just going to keep advocating people just to take what they need. Make sure that your needs are getting met every single day. If they're not giving it to you, you got to take it from them, essentially. If they're not giving you adequate amount of food or shelter, you got to take it from them. That's basically what this is. That's kind of what they're saying, the giant cry for help. So that's kind of how I feel. So yeah, not a huge fan of property rights. I believe in people's human rights getting met, their needs getting met, essentially.